After General Museveni announcing his cabinet, I've realized that he has a lot of contempt against Ugandans. Uganda is among the very few countries where a president has an audacity to appoint family members in a cabinet at that magnitude. I think the only country that has family members as cabinet ministers is the Saudi Arabia. But because it is a kingdom, it's free to put princes in different cabinet positions. But for a country like Uganda, Museveni to appoint family members at that magnitude, it's so embarrassing. And I'm here to talk about them. One of the family members that retained the cabinet slot is none other than Janet Museveni, the wife of the president. There are not very many countries that have presidents that appoint their wives as ministers, because even the office of the first lady is well maintained and has a lot of finances. In fact, it has a lot of work to do. But for president to appoint Janet Museveni as a minister, I know it may not make news because that he has already been serving this position, but it is so shameful. 2, the minister for Luwero Triangle, Alice Kaboyo, is also a family member. Those who don't know, Alice Kaboyo has ever worked as the AD for General Kaguta Museveni. In the song The Mustard Seed, they talk about the history of Alice Kaboyo and General Kaguta Museveni when they were in exile. Kaboyo was the one babysitting General Kaguta Museveni. It is said, that when General Museveni spent a lot of years in the Luwero Bush War that was taking place, when he went to Sweden, Alice Kaboyo then, she was young. He couldn't remember General Kaguta Museveni because he had a lot of beards, but he took care of General Kaguta Museveni's child, Moses Kainerugaba, who's also a CDF, a family member. So you clearly see family members are getting in cabinet slots with impunity. 3 is the state minister for fisheries, Desire Muhoza. Desire Muhoza is said to be the daughter of Salim Saleh. Salim Saleh is the head of Operation Creathon, a brother to the president. So he's appointing his niece, Desire Muhoza, to the Minister of Fisheries. Desire Muhoza also worked as, Operation Creation in that side of Luwero Triangle. 4, the state minister for finance is Shatsi Musherure Kutesa. Shatsi Musherure Kutesa is a sister to Muhozi's wife. Muhozi is a son to the president. So you clearly see almost 4 ministers in cabinet that have a direct relationship with General Kaguta Museveni. The reason as to why I'm emphasizing this is 1. Different countries, most especially those with democracies. I remember the controversy where George W. Bush had a son, Bush, in the army. They made an inquest on how he got to the army. Was it because of merit, or was it because his father was the president? They inquired, they met a lot of interrogations, because even when you want to give a family member a job, at least he must be on merit. A family member can get a job in a personal company, because a personal company, you decide who works and when. And since a personal company can be inherited, it's all good to appoint your family members and help them out. But for public office, you cannot have family members, 4 of them, in a cabinet with such impunity. Because Shatsi Musherure, they told him to cede ground in Maogola for Sodo, president's brother. And now they are compensating her with a cabinet slot. That's why even our cabinet is so bloated. So for me, I think 1, family members being in politics, it brings even a conflict of interest. You clearly see with impunity. I think Uganda will never get a president who has put so much patronage on Uganda. I don't think it will ever happen. General Museveni has a luck that even if he appoints such things, they will be passed in parliament because he has a majority without questioning, which is unfortunate. Governing a country is not supposed to be a family business. If you see those in cabinet, 4 ministers, and I'm speaking about 4 ministers, but there are very many other posts in government which have family members. For example, in the army, the CDF is a son, Moses Kainerugaba is a son to the president. Operation Recreation, Salim Saleh, public servant, etc., his sister. So you clearly see Uganda is continuing to degenerate. Another person who had forgotten is the Minister for Labor, Kakurugu Tumukunde. is related to General Kaguta Museveni because his son married a daughter of General Kaguta Museveni. So there are 5 cabinet slots which are occupied by family members or close relatives, which is unfortunate. You don't see this rarely. Even Keretanyi oversaw this when members of parliament were voting for a speaker. He ridiculed, he mocked General Kaguta Museveni that he has put a lot of family members in government, not because of merit, but because of family ties. Keretanyi said these statements.
Allow me, first and foremost, recognize and appreciate the President of the Republic of Uganda for his presence. Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Uganda, thank you for sacrificing yourself for the past 40 years to be the President of the Republic of Uganda. Right, Honorable Speaker, the President has not only sacrificed himself, but he has sacrificed the members of the first family to take on the leadership positions of this family, something that cannot be taken for granted. Right, Honorable Speaker, there seems to be a talent for standing as a sacrifice for the people of Uganda from the first family. I hereby, Right, Honorable Speaker, as per Rule 6, Sub-Rule 1, 2, 3, and 4, and Article 82 of the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda, nominate my candidate. My candidate is not a minister, he is not a prime minister, and neither is he a vice president. And I go on to nominate my candidate, Honorable Sodo Aine Kaguta, in a way of appreciating the first family for the tremendous work and sacrifice that they have given to this country. Right, Honorable Speaker, by virtue of the fact that the 12th Parliament tends to have the biggest percentage having new members, Aine Kaguta, being from the Kaguta family, stands out to lead us for the deputy speakership role by virtue of the fact that the new entrants of the 12th Parliament are many. And by virtue of the fact that
is in Keretanyi. So even people know. And General Museveni, to justify this, he continued to make that fundamental mistake. Ladies and gentlemen, running a government doesn't need to fill very many family members. It can be understandable if it is 1 or 2, but NRM government has several in different departments, not because of merit, but because of family ties. And that is not good. Of course, as my main is truly Mr. Makinde Kabye Suleiman Magre. If you're into this channel, please subscribe, like, and comment so that I'm motivated to do more of such videos. I'll see you on another one. Peace.